Hi Equals, it's Kim. It's Wednesday and I didn't post yesterday. I have a dog staying with me who's a guest, and I did tape on Monday morning to be all set, and the dog growled. She's blind and deaf, so she doesn't, for her growling is kind of a comforting thing. Anyway, she growled the entire time, so I had to scrap that version, and now I'm filming again, so I'm a little behind. But as I promised, we want to talk about LGBTQ young people. Last week we talked about the new bill, HB 658, that they call the Parents' Rights Act, and a piece of that would require government agencies, including schools, to out LGBT kids to their parents. So I want to address that for a moment. I understand that there is a thinking that parents should know this information. However, let's look at the reality a little bit more. If a child feels that their parents are going to be receptive, accepting, affirming, which is even better, of them if they come out, they probably already have. And these are the kids who are doing really well in school, in society, in their family, because they receive affirmation from their parents. A child who is not out to their parents is probably not out for a reason. They are scared of rejection, they're scared of hostility, they're scared of being thrown out of their homes, they're scared of being sent to some form of conversion therapy, which by the way is still legal in Ohio. They have a reason that they have not come out. Unfortunately, when children are outed or when they misjudge their parents' reception, we can and do see very negative impacts. Layla Alcorn was forced into a form of conversion therapy and ended up completing suicide. We know that there are young people who are kicked out by their family, some form of tough love. You can't live in my house unless you change. And the young person knows they can't change, and so they're out. They are couch hopping, going from friend to friend's house, trying to stay in school maybe, to have a roof over their head at night. That can sometimes last for a while, depends on their friends' parents and how all of that works for them. Some kids trade sex for a bit. Some kids actually end up being sex workers. It's survival sex. Some kids end up homeless and on the streets, and they're at youth shelters trying to get necessities, some new clothes, a tent, trying to get some food, maybe trying to finish a GED. So there are LGBT kids in the homelessness system. They're also in the foster care system, and we also see them in the juvenile justice system. So let's kind of do a sample tracking of how this happens. Child misjudges, is outed, or misjudges their parents' reception to them being LGBT. They are thrown out of their home. They end up homeless in some form or another. Things get bad enough that they end up either in the foster care system, which isn't overly supportive of LGBT kids either. They may be there for a while, they may leave that situation without state approval and run away, and then they're homeless again, and then they end up having to commit a survival crime. They need some food, they need some sanitary napkin products, they need something, and so they commit a crime to get it. And now if they get caught, now they're in the juvenile justice system. We know anecdotally that LGBT kids make up probably somewhere around 40 to 50% of the young people in the juvenile justice system, as well as, same thing, homelessness system, foster care. We are heavily overrepresented in those state systems. And if those state systems are also not LGBT friendly, not LGBT affirming, the situation just gets worse. So today I want to talk about drop-in centers, youth drop-in centers, and some things that they and or shelters for slightly older youth can do to help make the situation a little better. One is, when a child comes in and you sit down with them to do kind of some sort of form of intake, is to introduce yourself with your own pronouns. So I would say, hello, my name's Kim Welter, and I use she, her, hers pronouns. What pronouns do you use? What name would you like me to use for you? Excellent. Let me tell you a little bit about this facility's non-discrimination policy. We don't discriminate against anyone based on their race, their religion, their national origin, their age, their sexual orientation, their gender identity. You can go through the whole list, their sex. And so I want you to know that. So that means that we're going to hold folks to a certain standard here around how they talk to their other people, that we expect respect for everyone. And this information, these non-discrimination statements that we have adopted here at the center are posted all over the place. I also want you to know that our bathrooms are gender neutral. So there isn't a boys' bathroom, there isn't a girls' bathroom. We have gender neutral bathrooms. That you can use the the shower facilities based on what you're comfortable with. So why don't we have a conversation about, what's your comfort level? What can I help you with? So that sort of information. Now, if this child, and that should be a conversation that you have with every child who comes through a system like that. Then if the child does indicate particularly gender nonconformity in some way, shape, or form, whether they're transgender or they don't identify as either gender, that then you have a further conversation with them. But here's some don'ts. Whatever their anatomy is not important. It's their gender identity. How they identify is the important thing. What their anatomy looks like, it's none of your business. Everybody's transition is different. This is probably more for the adults in a homeless shelter. Everybody's transition is different. So make sure that you're talking about their identity, who they are, where they feel safe, helping to accommodate them. But you should never ask them about their anatomy. You should never ask them their real name. You should never ask them what was their gender assigned at birth. It may be on their ID, especially if they're still a young person. If they're an older adult here in Ohio, they can change their driver's license. There are a few hoops you have to jump through, so a homeless person may not have access to the ability to jump through those hoops. But what's important is their gender identity. I'm going to stop now, keep this kind of short, because we're going to talk about other systems, juvenile justice, foster care, and a lot of this will be kind of repeat, and we'll build upon it as we move forward. But I wanted to get this up today, so I'm going to stop here. Equals, if you like this information, please give me a thumbs up. You can hit the red subscribe button so that you get notifications when I put up a new video. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.